Hello, and welcome to Simple Guide, the series where I, PepperHomie, provide a guide, and I keep it simple. Let's get into it. So, in this guide, we will be covering tips and tricks in Crsed f.o.a.d. First things first, I'm a console player, so I apologize if this game's played a little differently on PC, but this is what I've learned from playing on console. The first tip that I have is to understand the meta of this game. If you don't know what meta means, it's short for the most effective tactics available. And in this game, that is melee. Melee weapons can be super OP if you know how to use them, and I'm sure most of you have probably died from a guy just running around meleeing everybody. Your starting melee weapon is a knife, and that's overall pretty weak, and it's going to take a few hits to kill people with that. So you want to make sure you upgrade that as soon as possible. The easiest way to do that is by finding an axe in game, but if you're lucky, you can find the best melee weapon in the game, and that's the pan of Perseus. That thing can kill pretty much everything in just one hit, so you definitely pick this up when you find it. It's also smart to have some mobility to your character when you are meleeing everybody, so it's not a bad idea to pick up the Hermes knee pads to run faster, or maybe the oxygen tank so you can run for a longer amount of time. Also keep in mind, if you do decide to spend money on this game, if you buy one of the characters, they each come with a melee weapon that's actually better than the knife and the axe, so really you're only looking for the pan of Perseus if you have those characters. In addition to these melee weapons, you also have the option of using a character that can use melee as his ability, and that character is Clyde. Clyde has a beast mode ability that makes him take less damage from bullets, he's faster, he can jump high, and he melees really fast. So it's not a bad idea to play as this character if he's in rotation, or if you're looking to buy a character, this may not be a bad choice. And now, if you're not a fan of that type of gameplay where you're just running around and meleeing everybody, then you need to keep in mind you need to keep high ground and keep your distance from players that do run around and do that. The second tip I have for you in this game is to understand the ammo. Ammo in this game is a little different from other BR games, and what makes it different is that this game makes all ammo specific for each gun. And on top of this, each lobby that you get into will have certain guns that are showing up more than the others. So when you're in game, you need to try to notice which guns are showing up more often than the others, and try to stick with those guns if they are good. It's also important to note that you should not try to run the same weapons as your teammates. If you're playing in duos and squads, ammo itself is kind of hard to come by per gun, so you don't want to have to fight over ammo between your comrades. Now, the third tip that I have for you is which guns to use. Not all guns are really viable when playing this game, so it's important to know which ones you should be picking up and which ones you should be passing up. Any of the high fire rate weapons or the light machine guns in this game are all very good choices, but you need to keep in mind that they will have high recoil. Laying down or mounting can help with recoil, but I generally only try to pick up high rate of fire weapons if I can find the eagle eye glasses. This accessory reduces recoil and it increases your reload speed. When it comes to rifles, I think any of these rifles are very good choices, but you definitely need to be going for headshots to get those quick kills. Shotguns can do high damage, but generally if you're up close, you're just going to get meleeed, so I usually never pick these up. Pistols are not worth your time, and you really should only pick these up if you have to. And keep in mind, if you do pick up a pistol and the ammo, that ammo is going to take up bag space, and in the end, you're really never going to use this in the late game. And when it comes to the special weapons, like the rocket launcher and stuff, those are all really good to pick up, and they usually do high damage. I will provide a link to their official website that will detail all weapon damage and fire rates and distances, so you can better decide which weapons you want to run. You can find the link to that in the description below. And now my fourth tip for you guys is to really consider your character's abilities. And I know you're thinking, hey, I already know what my character's abilities do, but what I'm talking about is understanding how to use them outside of combat. For example, if my teammate dies and I have his heart and I want to revive him, sometimes I'll use Clyde's beast mode to run over to the fire really fast, or use Thor's ability to just fly there. So what I'm really saying is just be creative with these abilities. Some people use them to get outside of the storm faster, some people use them to revive teammates, so just keep your mind open when using your characters. And now my 5th tip is to use these machine gun turrets that you find everywhere. These things can do some high damage, and they allow you to zoom in to get some long range kills. I've had numerous games where I'm breaking 15 kills by just getting kills on this turret. So definitely decide to use these if you see that they have a good positioning in the area that you're fighting in. The 6th tip I have for you is to really understand the equipment that you can find in the game. Some equipment may work very well together, while others may not really mesh that well. For example, using the Hermes knee pads with the oxygen tank can allow you to run fast and run farther. The cigar and IV bag can give you increased health with health regen. And this is just a few examples that really can help make a difference in combat. I will put a list of my equipment combinations that I like to run in the description of this video. Now the final tip I have for you guys is to really understand how to use traps. Traps can be unlocked by leveling up certain characters and spending souls to unlock that trap. For example, if you want to get the empty regular fridge trap, you need to get Clyde to level 5 and spend souls to unlock it. There are certain traps that a lot of players like to use, and these are the frag grenade trap and the jump pad trap. People like to use the jump pad trap to get up to high places very quickly, and people like to use the frag grenade trap to put on the ground when they die, so people get blown up when they try to loot them, or they like to put them on campfires so people get blown up when trying to revive their teammates. And that's pretty much all the tips that I have for you guys, so please leave a like and subscribe if I was able to help you guys become better players.